Hey, what's up guys? In this video we are going to be going over the Maximizer module in Ozone 8. Now this is the one that goes last in your chain, and it's really the bread and butter of Ozone, and it's pretty powerful, and it is a maximizer. And what makes a maximizer is it makes your signal louder depending on the threshold. You bring the threshold down, it'll make your track louder like so. Right? But what makes a maximizer is its control of the release. So an intelligent release control, because too slow of a release and it will pump, too fast and it will distort. So it kind of takes care of that for you. It's very smart in how it goes about doing that. And yeah, let's just kind of go through each of these modes. So think of these as like backwards compatibility. Um, uh, each kind of iteration of IRC has a new algorithm and how it goes about doing things. So I remember when it was like IRC 1 and 2, and that was it. Yeah, each one kind of is optimized for certain use cases. So IRC 1 provides intelligent digital loudness maximization of the signal. It does this by analyzing the source material and applying limiting in a psychoacoustically pleasing manner, reacting quickly to transients to prevent pumping, and reacting more slowly to steady bass tones to prevent distortion. Very cool. IRC2, right? What this is similar to IRC1, but optimized to preserve transients even more, so they sound sharper and clearer in the output signal, even when aggressive limiting is taking place. So keep that in mind. IRC3. Now this one's pretty cool because you have different flavors, different tonalities. Allows the most aggressive limiting by using an advanced psychoacoustic model to intelligently determine the speed of limiting that can be done to an incoming signal. Before producing distortion that is detectable to the human ear, IRC3 mode is very CPU intensive and produces a high latency, especially at higher sampling rates. You may find that the sampling rates greater than 48 kilohertz, you are unable to use Intelligent 3 mode in real time. So yeah, there's that one, and there's different ones. One that is one that has a higher propensity to pump. This is the least aggressive style of IRC3. What does it do? And will not constrain the limiter's release behavior. It can tend toward a slower release behavior and may result in pumping. This is a legacy setting, and is the behavior used in Ozone version 5.01 and earlier. Okay, so yeah, like I said, backwards compatibility stuff. Balanced. The setting constrains the release behavior of the limiter in a generally transparent way and should be suitable for most material. I would stick to this because it's balanced, like they said, and it works well. Crisp. What is crisp? Crisp is this setting aggressively constrains the limiter's release behavior and will favor distortion over any pumping. So dubstep, EDM, Skrillex music. Clipping. This is the most aggressive style of IRC3 and may be used if you wish to slightly colorize your mix with distortion or achieve the highest degree of loudness with the greatest risk of clipping. So yeah, different kind of release flavors. They're controlling the release. I would stick to balance, so let's go into IRC4. I like reading. IRC4. This mode builds upon the existing IRC technology by shaping the spectrum to further reduce pumping and distortion. As the signal goes further into the threshold, the IRC4 algorithm limits frequency bands that contribute most to these peaks. This reduces intermodulation between different signal components. For example, given vocals and drums, this algorithm can be used more selectively about limiting the transients from the drums without causing the vocals to duck as much. When there's no limiting necessary, the spectrum will be unaltered. While the typical multiband limiter has only a few bands set using crossovers, IRC4 algorithm uses dozens of psychoacoustically spaced bands in order to react to any type of audio. So essentially, a lot of voodoo going on. So yeah, this is the new thing that everyone is using. A lot of technology goes into this, some science, some guys in lab coats making IRC4. So yeah, there's 3 modes here. Classic. This setting provides a general enhancement to the overall mix with the sound more reminiscent of Ozone's earlier limiting algorithms, which are still being used by professionals today. Yeah, I would most likely use this one just for that kind of flavor. Modern. This style also provides general enhancements and life to your mix, but with greater detail and clarity than the other classic style. And then transient. This style is optimized to provide preservations of all transients, resulting in a highly detailed overall sound that may benefit some mixes needing added clarity. So there you have it. Yeah, there's different modes. You don't always have to use IRC4. You can use 3, 2 if you're a lunatic. You know, different kind of flavors. And the threshold, you just bring down. The ceiling, you wouldn't want to have set to 0, 0, maybe 0.1. Or if you really want to be careful, -1 dB. Turn on true peak. Very important. That should be on by default. What are you thinking? And that is that for that right there. Bring the threshold down. Super fun. Right, I'm able to use IRC4 without any problem. The character. This adjusts the attack and release and adds, the character of your maximizer. So this would be a fast attack and release, a slow attack and release. I usually just leave it there unless there's something bananas going on. The stereo impedance. So this will process the transients of the left and right separately. You can so it's not like compressing everything together, it's compressing left and right. That can cause issues with like lopsided like phasing. And it might not sound good with extreme values, but gentle values, sure. And the sustain, which is the release, it will kind of leave that. And then you can emphasize the transients, the ones that you've lost from the maximizing that you're doing. You might lose some transients, so you can kind of add those back in, which is very useful. It actually detects these transients, and you can put them back in, which might be of use to you. So yeah, that is the maximizer. I hope you enjoyed. Take care and have a good one.